we should look back at this history in the 50s and 60s in the U.S. where there's some interesting people claiming Robert J. Oppenheimer set up UFO secrecy. Like Rush has said that on record in an interview with me. Let's talk to his grandchildren. Let's talk to anybody who was alive at that time and try to corroborate that. They spent $130 million on a Christopher Nolan movie about this guy. He's like the emblematic kind of American scientist mid-century.
Yeah.
If he had anything to do with the UFO story, any smoking gun evidence around that would be this massive update, I think, for the average person who's just seen that movie and is interested in this character.
Yeah.
And so I do think sometimes the conversations are sort of frustratingly woo-woo, and we could just move it into this territory of like, okay, but what about Oppenheimer? Or, what about these people?
Yeah. Well, this is all an epistemological question. What is the methodology that a given person utilizes to try to determine for themselves what's true and what's not? And the reality of it is that 99% of the people don't have the time or the disposition to be trying to find out things for themselves.
Yeah.
And so that they just have certain authority figures that they look to that tell them, and you're trained to that.
Yes.
From the time you're in school. Oh, your teacher is the one that knows. Here's Mr. Policeman who's coming in to show you how you get across the street safely, and they're the ones that you need to rely upon.
Or the media.
Here's here's the New York Times, or here's NBC. And what they do is they offer to you different epistemological sources of authority, and the people do not engage in trying to figure things out for themselves.
Not at all.
Okay, and so given that reality, what happens is that when you introduce into that setting a national security state, such as we did at the end of World War II, where we set up a central intelligence agency, and that their job is to deceive people and to try to engage in a greedy, avaricistic world domination endeavor, and view themselves in this dialectic with the Soviet communism, who they think is trying to take over the world too, and they're projecting their shadows on each other, and you start to distort reality intentionally.
Yes.
And then what they do is they target the epistemological sources of authority and penetrate them.